This episode of the Horror Basement is brought to you by the 16th Annual Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival, going on October 27th through the 29th. For more information, go check them out at fullmooninc.net.
Hi, I'm Bill Mosley, and you're in the Horror Basement with Jim Jam and Johnny Leroy. Lick my plate, you dog dick.
Hey guys, welcome to the Horror Basement, the Tennessee Horror News Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Johnny Leroy. Of course, you know we got Jim Jam here with us.
I'm going to try to match that laugh. Jim Jam here. What's up, guys?
Yeah, so today's podcast, we got George Demick, filmmaker from Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, Taku-He. We're going to talk about Taku-He. Hey.
ConNooga.
You know, the gay horse eats.
Go ahead, what?
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, it's got lots of movies that he's done. And so we're gonna talk to him and
talk about ConNooga.
Yeah, ConNooga. And
2018.
But Tim Jam, don't forget, we're on all social media outlets.
Yeah.
Are they outlets now?
I guess.
They are now.
Because he said.
Yes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blueberry. Guys, Blueberry, SoundCloud.
iTunes.
Google Play. We're on Patreon too. Become a patron. Help us promote this shit.
Give us your money.
Yeah, guys, you know. But anyways. Away we go.
All right, guys. So on today's podcast, we have George Demick. He's in post-production with the movie Taku-He. Hey, George, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing well. So you're from Nashville, local to us, pretty much is what we'd say.
Yeah, I've been down here 27 years.
Awesome. So this movie Taku-He, which, like we discussed before this, was the Native American term for Sasquatch. What was your, I guess, motivation? Is that what a good word for it?
Yeah, absolutely. What had happened was we were looking for another project after we filmed a futuristic Western called Grave Vengeance, which we've decided to go back and tweak a little bit before we start shopping it around. And I was trying to find a project, and I watched The Legend of Boggy Creek again.
Oh, yeah.
And that movie, the roar of that creature, and that movie back in the day scared the hell out of me. And I started thinking about if there's been a good Bigfoot movie. And so I started watching Bigfoot movie after Bigfoot movie after Bigfoot movie. And there aren't any really good ones, I thought. And some of the ones that were out there, I started watching to kind of go, okay, why does this one not work? And it all boiled down to, with the exception of Harry and the Henderson.
Yeah, that was a really great movie.
When you can have like this great silhouette, great everything, but when you show the face, it's suddenly a guy in a costume. And the one thing The Legend of Boggy Creek never did, and the one thing Creature from Black Lake doesn't really do, is they never show a close-up of the face of the creature. And so that kind of started it, and so I was like, well, there seems to be a niche for it that there's not out there for a really decent movie. And so that's why I started writing it.
So you think that they didn't show the face just for the whole fact that it wouldn't be a good thing to show, or
I don't know why those two movies didn't show the face. But in all the other movies that I watched, the minute they showed the face, it took me completely out of the thing, and it just looked like a guy in a suit. You know, there was one movie that was made, and I don't know the name of it, and I apologize, but it was made a couple of years ago, And initially, I thought it was like a really low budget. Then I found out that Weta did the creature. And so I was like, well, this is a really cool Bigfoot movie. And then suddenly they showed the face, and I went, no, it's not so cool anymore.
Is that the one where the one gets hit by a car?
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking. You know what it is.
Oh, that's we interviewed the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the dude that made the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah. Freaking idiots.
Ed Sanchez made that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And and I thought it was really good right up until they showed the creature's face, and then it was like, okay, it's so even with Weta doing it, it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's why we purposely avoided that in Taku-He.
Yeah,
Which it never shows it. But
Well,
hey,
it's a
I
pretty
gotta
difficult
say,
thing,
Taku-He's got some nice bangs going on.
See, I didn't get to watch the film, so I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, though, he's got long hair in his face, though. Right?
Oh, yes.
That's why I was just trying to be funny, saying he got nice bangs.
Oh, okay. I was.
And they're highlighted,
right?
right?
There's no sex scenes in the movie. Which movie did you watch?
No, not bangs. Bangs like your hair. But
yes, bangs. He does have nice bangs. Yes.
Yeah,
He's over there. He's like, man, he's banging the shit out of that bear. that bear had no clue what was going to happen to him.
Interspecies.
mingling. And unfortunately, there's some pornos out there with that too. So it's like,
I imagine there are.
Yeah. I didn't watch them, but I saw the posters and I went, okay, moving on. So
thankfully, I don't get into that zoology either.
All right.
So, where was this Taku-He filmed at? Let's get into that a little bit.
Okay, it was filmed in Portland, Tennessee. We had 278-acre farm that they allowed us just to play with.
Oh, that's cool.
So a lot of it was filmed there, and then portions of it were filmed in Pigram. And then other portions of it were shot in Smyrna, and then still yet in Clarksville. So we bounced all around on this one.
Oh, so it stayed real local.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, all of our films are shot in Nashville.
Okay, did you make Tennessee?
Great Vengeance was actually shot down in Manchester.
What is it, Great Vengeance?
Grave Vengeance. It's a futuristic Western. It's not out yet.
Ooh. I'm big on Westerns.
Where'd you shoot that at? In Manchester.
Well, in the climax of the movie, the big gun battle takes place in your town square. We put out ads in the local newspaper and stuff to get extras to come out, and I think we had maybe 10 or 15 people show up. So,
yeah, the worst thing you could have done was put it in the Manchester Times.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what we did.
You probably should have posted it on Facebook.
Yeah. I wish you'd have known us at the time, because
I only realized.
Me and Johnny, I'm sure they could use some two big guys, and y'all could use two big guys in the movie.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Would have given you machine guns and stuff, and killed you. So it would have been awesome.
Yeah, that'd work.
I'll die in your movie.
Well, that's cool. So, when it takes place in Tennessee, is that for this Taku-He movie? Is it placed like in Nashville? Is that what?
It's placed in the middle of Tennessee.
Okay, I didn't know if like you referenced
I try to do all my films. Usually they're placed in a mythical town called Clarksburg, or near Clarksburg, and this one isn't, but it's in that same vicinity. So.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a.
Well, he didn't get to watch the movie, but I watched it last night. As you know, one of the interviewees, I guess you call her, she said something about Nashville in it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like your movies have its own little universe.
That's what I try for. Yeah.
I mean, like the
George I stole it from
universe.
Steve King. I mean, that's it's the whole Castle Rock thing, but.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of. I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool.
And
do you have a singular point where everything can be connected?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. I mean, there's nothing that everything revolves around, but I usually try to get Clarksburg in somewhere. I don't think we'd put it actually in this one for whatever reason.
Oh, well, you have to go back in post production when you're doing this, and when you're in the middle of this, and just put up a sign, Clarksburg, 15 miles.
Yeah, you know.
Or
do like a little Easter egg, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clarksburg, 30 miles.
There you go.
Something.
Then you could put that in, I guess, the extras or something.
Yes.
Are you going to have something? Are you going to have a DVD release for this?
We are. We're going to have a very, very limited Blu-ray release for the cast and crew and whoever in that circle wants to buy them. That has tons of special features and stuff. But the first thing we're doing is sending screeners out, getting screeners for people to review it. We want to build up a nice collection of reviews, and then we're going to shop it around to distributors.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Oh yeah, we get a lot of screeners from was it October Coast, Wild Eye, Uncorked is a big one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
hit them up.
yeah.
So, and you guys actually are the first ones to review it, and so that's great. I love the review, so I'm very pleased with that. So we're gonna definitely include that in our press.
Sweet. I appreciate that. I want to also I want to see it after it's fully done again. I want to watch it again so I
Oh,
can
absolutely. We'll get you a copy of the Blu-ray.
Sweet.
fucking A right. That's awesome. Which I want to say that I see a lot of of course we see a lot of independent films, and the cinematography on this is awesome. It's crisp. You obviously use pretty damn good cameras, right?
We use the Canon. It's a DSLR. I honestly don't know what the actual camera number is, but it's just a regular DSLR. But what we do is Greg Hitchcock's my director of photography, and we use monitors and stuff to make sure that everything's nice and sharp and in focus. Because if you're looking at a 6-inch or a 4-inch monitor, you can't tell whether you're in focus. So we use a big monitor to be able to make sure that we're all sharp and good.
Yeah.
And the big thing is lenses, just changing out lenses.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Another thing is, of course, when you shoot an independent horror or film, any film, you're not going to get the best of actors out there. Of course, I guess you can some, but the actors you have, they, I feel like they were pretty damn good, real good actually.
Yeah, I think the acting is really good, and it just comes down to casting and when you get some good actors going, okay, who do you know? Because they would recommend really good actors, and so everyone plays on that level, and then you cast a little bit looser and stuff for smaller roles and stuff. So, but you try to avoid unevenness.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one scene that was pretty awesome, I guess, where y'all interviewing people, and the guys, spoiler, I'm going to go ahead and say it, but he said something about robots.
Oh, yeah, yes.
That was, I about died. I was like, hell.
Oh, good. He actually did that on the first take, and I was like, that's great. We don't have to, we did a second one just to be safe. But it was perfect on the first go round. He did a great job. That was Mark Greenbaum.
Yeah, he's all getting into it, and then he just pops out with robots. And everybody just, that one guy in the back is just like, he just turns around. He's like, I'm done.
Right.
So yeah. Anything?
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, okay. I'm just going to ask this question because
Sure.
You're on a 200-acre farm. What was the difficulties in filming in the woods for you and because you got to have a production crew and everybody's out there. Was it difficult?
We would, we had the farm was our base of operation. Actually, they had a barn that was set up to, with a kitchen and all that stuff. So that was actually
nice.
our base of operation. And then we would drive 4-wheelers out and drag everyone out on a trailer to where we were shooting. The biggest thing was keeping everyone hydrated and bug sprayed so that ticks and stuff.
Yeah,
and then we had one guy, wherever we decided we were going to shoot, we'd have one guy go through with a shovel and just be smacking ground to scare snakes and spiders. So that was our biggest thing. But no one really got hurt with the exception of our lead actor. On one of the scenes you actually see in the film where he runs up a hill and they're all running and they go up across this little hill and he blew his knee out on that
Ooh.
run. So there's some shots where you see him, he's running full speed, and then other shots he's kind of limping. But out in the woods, actually the only real problems we had with was the being in the costume. My son Carson played the Taku-He, and he was 18, and he would take the head off when we were shooting at night, and you would just see nothing but steam coming up out of the costume.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and we started shooting in April, and we finished in September. Shooting just on the weekends because with our budget we couldn't really afford to have people take off work and such.
And did y'all film this last year?
Yeah, we filmed it last year.
Yeah,
so it's about as hot as it is now.
Yeah, that's what I'm sitting there thinking. I'm trying to think of how freaking hot it was last summer.
Yeah, we had a little ventilation system that we built into the costume for him, but that broke midway through.
Ooh, damn! Hey, the price you pay to be an actor.
So how much weight did he lose during the shoot?
Yeah, jeez.
Sweating as much as he did.
Oh, he and we had Taku-He wranglers to help him out and stuff. And the one actress who also doubled as that, she was like, I never thought I'd go home smelling of teenage boy sweat, but I am. So.
Hey, at the end of the movie, you get to see Bigfoot running.
Yeah.
It's just like he's just running through the pasture in front of a pond or something. They got a good. Did y'all use a drone?
Yeah, we used drones.
Yeah. Well, you get him following him, and he's just kind of galloping through the pasture, like he's.
Oh, then it has a happy ending.
Yeah. He killed everybody he needed to, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, a little bit of a spoiler. If you think about it, had they just left after he killed the first woman,
yeah,
nothing else would have happened. But they started a war. So
a war they cannot win.
Pretty much.
You're in his stomping grounds, as you want to call it or whatever. But yeah,
you're in his zone.
Yeah, he knows all that shit. So you're screwed.
And the one thing I wanted to do was be logical with the creature. Why would it not react over this way, but then it's going to react and hurt somebody there? And it just, I tried to be very logical with everything that was going on with it.
Another thing I want to say about the sounds of him, man, one of some creepy ass sounds. If I hear that shit in the woods and I'm in the tent, I probably piss myself, shit myself. I don't know.
What?
Well, good that we succeeded. That was all created by Amanda Ramey, who is my sound design and post production and sound recordist. She did an amazing job.
My wife was watching the women, and she said, "Kind of sounds like I got a little bit of lion roar in there too." So
she hasn't told me what it is, so if I knew, I would tell you. But
she's trying to patent that on you, man. She's trying to patent that.
Well, the first time I heard it, because this is how I wanted to hear it, we went up into the woods at night and had it build a campfire, and they set up the speakers behind me, and they played that, and it gave me chills.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Did you get goosebumps?
Say what?
Did you get goosebumps?
Oh yeah. So I was like, "That's it."
No, we're gonna change that because this is in the movie. You didn't get goosebumps. You got goose pimples.
Goose pimples.
Because that girl, that woman that got interviewed said, "Yeah, I got goose pimples all over me."
Yes.
I said, "Goose pimples? What the fuck is that?"
That's what some people
use. A whole nother. Damn, I guess if that's that Bigfoot is that scary, he can make you have goose pimples.
There you go.
Shit, some hardcore shit right there.
There you go. Yep.
From what I was messaging back and forth with Todd. He's the horror track coordinator, as you know, of ConNooga, and it was funny because I messaged you before I knew all this. Because of a movie you did, was 97, 96?
Asylum of Terror?
Or is that 2007?
It was 98.
98, oh my bad. Okay, yeah, well, I sent you a message to do a podcast because of that movie, and I was going to watch it and was going to talk about that, and then I found out about this, and then I was messaging Chad, and he said something about... started talking about, and someone else we're gonna get. And then he said, I also want to set y'all up with George. You. And I was like, that's funny you say that because I've already messaged him, and so it was pretty crazy how it all came about. That
It's a small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked because a friend of mine, messaged me saying, "Hey, they want to do this panel on George Romero, and they asked him to do it, and he goes, I'm not really qualified, but I know a guy who is." So that's how that all came about. It was just a nice coincidence.
Yeah, and I told him that, and he said, "Well, works perfect." So ConNooga, you're going to be on a George Romero panel,
right? Yeah, I've known George for 39 years.
Wow.
He was my mentor. He's the one that got me started in the film business.
Yeah, like I told you on the message, I think I sent a message to his manager or something before. I think he was overseas though doing something, or I'm not sure. But I was wanting to, of course, get an interview with him. But who wouldn't want to interview with George Romero?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't work out in time. And rest in peace to George Romero.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
He's a fantastic filmmaker and a fantastic man. So.
Well, I don't believe we'd have zombies without him. So.
No, we really wouldn't. We really wouldn't. He's the cause of all of that.
So. Yeah. Well, it must be an honor to get to be on a panel to talk about him.
Yeah, it's just an honor for me to have known him, and I I met him when I was 14 years old at a convention.
Wow.
And spent half hour just asking him questions. Back in the day when they didn't charge for autographs.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, imagine that.
Exactly.
And asked him a bunch of questions, and he was like, "Well, here, give him." He gave me his address, and I wrote to him. And he wrote back, and we became friends through pen pals, basically.
Wow.
And, and then the next time I got to meet him, I was about, 16, I believe. And met him and was standing alongside this wall at a screening of Night of the Living Dead. And we were talking, and I couldn't remember. I was so starstruck, I couldn't remember anything that I wanted to ask him. And my mom, who was standing behind me, and she looks at George and she points at me and she goes, "He makes movies too."
Oh.
And I was so embarrassed. I spun my head and I smashed right into the wall with my face.
Wow. Yeah, I bet.
And George, after he checked on me, he was like, "Why don't you come down to the office one afternoon and I'll answer all your questions."
Oh, wow.
So my dad took off work, and I spent an afternoon down at 247 Fort Pitt Boulevard in Pittsburgh, down at Laurel Entertainment, sitting in the office with George Romero. And he answered all my questions and then offered me an apprenticeship on Knight Riders.
Damn.
So, yeah.
That's pretty sweet. Well, that just goes to show you how cool of a dude he was.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know
help.
anybody that would say, "Hey, tell a 16-year-old, come on down, I'm going to spend an afternoon talking to you."
Yeah, he wanted to help a future director, writer. He could see, that's awesome.
So, and then later on, he helped me. He introduced me to Steve King, and I ended up getting the rights to Graveyard Shift through that introduction. So,
Wow.
So that's I guess I can tell that story here. I had was hanging out with George. They were doing some sort of screening of his movies at this theater, and we were hanging out in the lobby. It was me, him, and his wife Christine at the time. And I mentioned that I was going down to North Carolina for wrestling because I'm a pro wrestling fan. And he's like, "Well, stop down and say hi to Steve while you're down there." And I'm like, "Steve who?" And he goes, "Steve King.
Yeah.
He's down at Dino Studios making a movie." Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Sure. I'll just call down and okay, I'll do that. So, and you got to remember, this was back in the day, so he didn't have cell phones and stuff. So he remembered this conversation, went home, and either called from his office or called from home and set this thing up with Steve, which was also using a bit of a favor. It wasn't much. They were good friends, but it was still a favor to ask, to let this kid come down. So that week when I called down, I wanted to call, and I was expecting to get the secretary, and Steve answered the phone, and he's like, "Steve here." And I'm like, Mr. King? And he's like, yes. And I go, actually, I wanted to speak to your secretary. He's going, well, how can I help you? And I go, well, my name's George Demick. And he goes, George! Yeah, George said you were coming down. Just call me when you get down here and we'll get you in.
Wow.
And I went in and I got the rights to Graveyard Shift to make the movie. So that would never have happened if it wasn't for Romero. And, going out of his way and remembering a conversation once again with a 16-year-old to do this. So, not 16, I was 20-something at that time.
Okay, about to say, you were 16 and made a movie?
No, I was 20 at that time. And by the time we actually got the deal and everything, I was like 22. So,
man, 22, that young, and have the rights to do it.
Where can we see this at? I guess.
It's a Paramount film, but that film that got made isn't the film that I got started. I had a screenplay. Got $60,000 in debt with legal fees and everything else, and had partnered up with Greg Nicotero from Walking Dead.
Good Lord, man!
Yeah, me and Greg, we grew up in Pittsburgh, so I was in that circle of hanging out at Tom Savini's house and stuff. So,
Jesus.
It was a great childhood or teenage years or whatever,
Hey, if you want, just go ahead and call them up and we can all have a little conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you, but that's, damn, man. You've been surrounded with horror talent all your life, then, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, we got a deal with New World Pictures, and at the signing of that, I got out of debt. They cut a check for everything that I had put out or promised to put out, so I was even at that point. And then at pre-production, I was supposed to get $100,000. Well, and we were 2 months away from pre-production, and New World Pictures went bankrupt.
Oh,
ta-da!
Damn.
So you didn't get
No, so it never happened. I eventually gave the rights back to Steve. And then eventually somebody else called me up and said, hey, I got the rights to Graveyard Shift. I want to buy your script. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, I'll give you $6,000. I was like, sure, because it was not doing anything with it. So, and then literally the day we signed the papers, that weekend, Pet Sematary hit.
Oh,
and he hit on Friday, and then he had a deal on Monday. So, just the way the film business goes, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
All the money.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So it took me about 10 years to get over losing that deal.
Yeah, I bet. That is...
Yeah, that was definitely a big deal. What, right? Huge, I guess.
Well, have you ever been to ConNooga? Going back?
No, I've not. I'm looking forward to it.
It's pretty fun. I enjoyed it last year. This was the first year that we ever went. Was this year?
It's wild though because it's a multi-fandom, of course. So the horror track is kind of small last year. I'm hoping this year, seeing that they're gonna have screenings of full movies. Because last year we did horror short. Like we only had an hour, but we actually got pretty much a full room.
Yeah, people wanted to watch it.
People were sitting on the floors, So,
are you guys interested in screening Taku-He?
I thought that was what was going on.
No one had said anything yet, so if that's the case, yes, let's do that.
Well, we can just talk to Todd and Chad. I meant not Todd. Well, I guess either one, because of course, Todd is the main guy. But yeah, Chad, I'll either you or me, we can run it across and.
Okay.
We're supposed to be screening another movie there, so I don't see why we couldn't do that either, unless
they just don't have time constraints. But
whether it's far out, I don't see why it would be a problem.
Yeah,
all right, I'll mention it to Chad. I'll message him later on.
Okay, that'd be awesome because I'm sure there's gonna be Bigfoot. There's always Bigfoot fans all around everywhere. But,
yeah, it was interesting at the premiere of Taku-He. We were sitting outside because I watched the movie before.
Yeah.
So we're sitting outside, and there's only about 30 minutes left in the movie, and this couple walks by and goes, "What's playing?" And Greg was like, "Well, it's a premiere of a Bigfoot movie." And he goes, "A Bigfoot movie? Are you kidding?" He whips out his phone. He has a statue of Bigfoot in his yard.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
And so So we signed some posters for him, and we're talking, and I was talking about Boggy Creek because he asked why I made it, and I told him about Boggy Creek, and I went, "Go ahead, go in and sit down, find a seat, and hang out, watch the last 30 minutes." After the movie, he comes out and he walks up to me and he goes, "If you were trying to do something along the lines of Boggy Creek, you totally succeeded. It's awesome." So I'm like, that's the winner for me. So if a Bigfoot fan loves it, that's all I care,
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Where did you premiere that at? Again, just so...
Yeah, we premiered it up at the Gallatin Palace Theater.
Okay. I ain't never been there, so...
It's phenomenal. It's the oldest theater in Tennessee.
Damn.
Hey, another one you could, I always like to tell people this because I think it's pretty cool is the Full Moon Cineplex.
Yep, I know Ben well, and I'm usually up there. I was just up there.
Did you go to the Romero thing?
The Romero stuff, yeah.
The Romero. I was wanting to go, but they made us, at my work, they made us work that following Sunday, or that Sunday after. And there's no
4
way.
a.m.?
No, 6 a.m., but...
Oh.
Because by the time I would get back from that, it'd probably be midnight, and I done had an accident already from...
Falling asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep at work on a forklift and hit a rack, and I slammed my head into the forklift.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah,
The sad thing is we don't have the video of it.
Yeah, no. My manager wouldn't let me get it.
Bad time at work, that's what we need.
Yeah.
Just so we can put it on the internet.
Yeah, I got 17 stitches out of that deal.
Oh, good God. You really racked your head.
Yeah, it was funny.
It looks like a zombie bit him on top of the head, really.
Yeah, just a bottom jawless.
Yeah.
But my kin or my siblings know that I'm big into horror, so they just thought I had makeup on. I did special effects on my head and just posted it. They didn't even realize that I really
was injured.
I ain't that damn good. I ain't even good. Yeah.
Well, it was such a shitty stitch job that they did on him
at
the hospital that it looked like it
would.
could have been fake. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad they stitched him up. I mean,
so I'm gonna probably have to have scar revision surgery.
It's bad.
It's still poofy, and that's been over a month ago.
It'd been poofy for a while.
But yeah, anyways, off that. But yeah, ConNooga though. Actually, to have it at Full Moon Cineplex would be pretty cool too, because giving you got Slaughterhouse directly behind you when you're watching a movie seems pretty cool.
Yeah, and I love the theater, and I love Ben and all that stuff. So that it'll probably happen at some point.
Oh yeah, and apparently, from what I understand, they redid the theater again or something. We saw it before it was even done the first time, so I have no,
okay.
Yeah,
I have no
then
clue
we've
what
seen it after it was done. But
yeah, well,
I go up there fairly frequently, because I just love the movies that he shows.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
those are some great movies.
they still do the dinners too, right?
Right? Yes, yeah.
So that's awesome. You go in there and
I wish I lived closer.
yeah, see older movies on the theater and have a dinner. I think, do they serve alcohol or can you bring alcohol?
No, they don't serve alcohol.
Oh, okay.
I think they're working on that thing. I don't know if that went through. I don't know.
Well, either way, though, it's still pretty cool to have,
Yeah.
have a full course meal, or pretty much, and then watch
a good movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Did you want to talk about Asylum of Terror?
We can.
Yeah,
Sure, why not?
Yeah, a guy at work. We was talking. I don't know. He told you about it.
Yeah, he told me about it.
And we got to talking about it, and
He said somebody had the DVD.
yeah, his
Right.
the
His
girl.
uncle's brother's cousin's nephew's sister.
But yeah, they
Ex-girlfriend's uncle's
yeah.
some crazy shit.
Well, he had DVD, of course, because he was in the movie. But yeah, they he was telling me about it, and he said it's got a lot of boobs in it.
Yeah, I think it's the running time is I want to say 79, maybe 80 minutes. It's really short. It was shot 16 millimeters, so I'm proud of that. We got nudity in there 3 times, and it kind of works for it just being in the haunted house. So I was kind of proud of getting that much nudity in a film that shouldn't really have any.
What haunted house was it filmed in?
We filmed it up at what was it called? I think it was called Death Row.
Is that the?
It was at the DeBerry prison.
Oh, okay, so Death Row Prison or whatever, right?
Right, and it used to be, it was an honest-to-God prison for the criminally insane that they've turned into a haunted house, which is the premise of the movie.
I always heard about that, growing up here. Oh, you need to go to Death Row Haunted House. It's in prison. Of course, never went, but
Yeah, I didn't start really going until after I was probably 20s or so. Unfortunately, I was scared to death of them for some reason. Then I went to my first one and I fell in love. Now I'm in love with haunts or haunted attractions, whatever you want to call them. But
we filmed up there for a month. That was one of the ones where we actually had a budget and paid everyone to be there. And it was when the tornado hit Nashville. That was because we had to stop filming for 2 days because people couldn't get to the location to shoot.
Man, has it been that long?
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that a real big tornado?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think we killed, I want to say 27 people in 80 minutes.
Damn.
Or 17 people, I think. But it's still pretty high numbers. Yeah.
For such a short film, right?
Yeah, it's feature length, but it's just short of 90 minutes. It falls into feature length category though, just by time frame.
Well, just in, like you said, 70 minutes. That's a lot of kills for.
Oh yeah,
that's some non-stop killing, huh?
Almost. Basically, it would have been the film has some other things like it had some. We had stuntmen in there. Yeah. That did high falls off the prison. We had the first ever full body burn in Nashville history.
Oh, wow.
And because the lead villain was Carrie, oh my gosh, I can't remember Carrie Walls. And he was going to be he is the killer in the movie. However, like 2 weeks before we started shooting, he had back surgery. So everything that we had planned, we didn't plan for this killer to walk like Michael Myers, But that's what ends up happening because he's just had back surgery and he can't really do anything other than that. So, but the DVD they cleaned up the audio because on the video it was terrible because I had overmodulated everything. I was a one-man band on that thing, and. But the DVD, the sound's cleared up, but it's an okay little film. It's not the greatest film in the world. As a matter of fact, I got some of the worst reviews I've ever gotten from anything because of that.
I still want to see it though, David. I'm gonna have to order me a copy off Amazon. Do you still get money? Or do you still get the money
Royalties?
From that when someone buys it off Amazon? If it's as long as it's new or something.
No, you can. I mean, York Entertainment, who distributed it, they were only supposed to distribute it for 5 years, but it's still on their books. It's still in their catalog, but it's not worth it to me to go and, get lawyers and yell and scream about it because, I'd have to prove how much money they've made and all that. So it's not really an issue, but it is what it is. At least it's out there. It got bootlegged. I found a Japanese copy.
Wow.
Somebody thought it was good enough to bootleg.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I was hoping to
that's
find
a win.
It. I was hoping to find it somewhere I could just stream it because it's so much easier. You don't have to wait.
Good luck if you can.
Yeah. Well, I would have already seen it by then now. But
now that place was genuinely haunted.
So was that pretty freaky filming in there?
Yeah, there was not a single person on cast or crew that wouldn't walk down a hallway by themselves and have someone or something go, like if it would be me, just like right in your ear going, George. We filmed a throat slitting in one cell, and everything came in sharp focus. Everything was fine right till we do the shot where the blade draws across the neck, and it was like something moved in front of the camera, blurred it all out. So we get the footage back 3 days later because it was shot film. You have to send it off and all that stuff. See this, go back in there, reshoot, everything's in focus, get to the throat slit, something moves in front of the camera again. We ended up having to shoot that in the hallway, and then it was fine. We were able to get it.
Fucking ghost, damn, killing your movie.
Yeah.
It's probably like, I'm only going to be the only one killing in this shit.
There was a section of torn up stairs that on the scene where we did the high falls when we were shooting that. I had to keep going up and down this section of stairs by myself. And it got to the point where I was running through this one section because I have never felt such oppressive evil in this stairwell. I don't know what happened there or what went on, but you could feel it. It was creepy as hell.
Thankfully, I've never felt that at all.
Would
ever.
that make the movie better, you think? Or
No.
But
just bothered the hell out of every one of us.
it creeped out everybody to where they're just like, ugh, fuck this place.
We're just ready
I
to
can't
get
believe I
done.
signed up for this shit.
You know, we
Yeah.
wanted to make a horror film.
Well,
we didn't want
if that was a haunted house, though, could you imagine being a scare actor in that bitch?
to.
Oh yeah, you know,
Fuck
well,
that.
they said they had seen everyone that worked on the horror on the haunted house had seen stuff.
So did you actually get people from? Did you say that you got people in the haunted house to work on it?
No,
Okay.
we just we hired out actors and stuff and used a lot of the reason the acting is so talk about uneven. This is acting that's uneven. When I talked to Tony Warner, who ran the haunted house and owned it, and he became my partner and producing partner on the film, which is one of the reasons how I got the location.
Does he own Warren Haunts?
The house was open because it was like September when I was talking to him about it.
Yeah.
So I had to grab some actors and shoot them actually in the line. And so I grabbed a couple of friends and put them in there so that I would have characters that later on when we filmed I could bring back.
Yeah.
Well, these people weren't actors. And when you see the movie, you'll understand. One of the reviews said that I got my actors from the blue light special at Kmart.
That's pretty funny.
Wasn't too far off.
Yes.
But so yeah, I mean, but it's an okay for what it is. You know, I don't pretend to make it anything more than it's a slasher film, and I tried to put a little bit of twist on it.
Uh-oh. Someone's selling it for $5.
Hey, you're probably paying too much, but I would buy it for $5. There you go.
Damn.
Well, hey, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to order it on the phone.
While we're talking to him on the podcast, Jim is ordering this movie.
Hey, everybody, go. Well, no, I guess it don't matter because you don't get nothing off of it, but go buy his movie.
Now, you can get my others films, and I would recommend on Amazon. The two that I would really recommend are The Shelter and Dead Start. They're all, you just Google my name on Amazon and my films will come up, but those are the two that I would recommend viewing. The Shelter is about an Ebola virus that hits the United States, and then a small group of people end up in a shelter and someone starts murdering each other. So it becomes a murder mystery.
So
Dead Start's about what would happen. I finally did my zombie film, growing up with George and stuff. I wasn't going to do one, and then I finally went, you know what, I'm going to do one. And so Dead Start is basically as real as it can be what would happen to us if the dead did start coming to life and eat people. Most of us would sit in our houses watching the news trying to figure out what to do.
yeah, for sure. I wouldn't go outside.
So, I think that's a pretty cool film.
Ordered.
Yay!
We'll put up a review for it. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, if you must, go for it. But like I said, one of the reviews I had was it was from a magazine that went out to video stores that said, don't let your customers be ripped off by buying this movie.
Oh, shit.
So, any reviews that I get now, they can't be worse than these ones. So,
You've seen it. You've seen it all, right?
yeah, someone actually took more time with that movie than I did. Actually, I mean, he wrote a 5-page review of this thing.
5 pages. How do you hate something that much?
I don't know. And he goes, and then they did a shot of this maze that's in a basketball court. They don't have basketball courts in insane asylums. Yeah, they did, you idiot.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they have a basketball court in a insane asylum?
No, they're not allowed to have any physical activities.
Yeah, that's what I'm sitting there thinking. You want to get them tired so they don't be fucking insane.
So,
Duh.
it's funny, some of the reviews and stuff. I just kind of go, okay, whatever.
Hey, I'm sorry. I was ordering your the first movie when you was talking. So, what was the ones you recommend? I know you said
The Shelter and Dead Start.
The Shelter and Dead Start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dead Start's a pretty cool zombie movie.
So, what's Burning Dead then?
Oh, good God. Okay.
He's,
We're gonna go into your whole filmography.
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna talk about everything.
Okay. We'll roll there.
Okay, but if we do that, we're gonna go by. Well, you had two of them then. You had Demon Sight also.
Yeah, Demon Sight is about a woman who grows up with a demon in her house and with her, but it's a demon that guards her.
Oh.
And so at a certain age, stuff starts going on and it just goes from there. Another demon tries to come into this world to do bad things, and it's her job that she doesn't know at the time. That's her job to stop it.
So says filming locations Murfreesboro and Nashville.
Yeah, all these films have been. I've done like 2 films back in Pittsburgh, but basically everything else started here. I've done a total of 15 films.
Okay, then let's go to Burning Dead.
Burning Dead. You get. Let's see. I had a producing partner at the time, Russ Kring, who we decided to do this movie, and we ended up selling it to Brain Damaged Films.
Yeah, I've tried to get reviews or screeners from them.
And they put it out with 10 other films on called a Depraved Degenerates disc, and they sold it for $10. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but if you have 10 films and you sell it for $10, doesn't look like the producers are going to see much money.
No.
About maybe a quarter each sale.
I think Russ complained and complained and complained, and eventually he got like $200 off the deal. But
wow.
But it's a film about and we had no money. I mean, you'll when you see it, you'll kind of go, okay, there was no real money. Although Ben Dixon did do the makeup effects for it.
Wow, hell yeah.
And it's about this guy who returns to his town who the whole town had burned down and killed a bunch of people. And he returns, and when he returns, he starts having visions of the fire and the flames and the dead people approaching him and seeing him. And then he turns into it goes on. There's black magic and sorcery and all sorts of stuff. All my films kind of have twists and turns, so they're never straight up, oh, this is what you think it's going to be. Taku-He is probably the closest that comes to being just a straight up, this is what it is.
So Johnny was.
You guys are busy ordering. I know.
Yeah, he's over here on his phone looking.
No, I'm looking through your.
He's doing the stuff that he should have done before we
doing
started
his
the interview. Yeah, he's doing his research before.
Well, you said that Ben Dixon did the makeup for Burning Dead, right?
Burning Dead, yeah.
Okay, I was looking and I was trying to find the cast, and which you only had 5 people in this movie. Or just
no, there's a lot more than that. That's the only ones that listed.
Oh, okay.
Me and IMDb have a ongoing battle. I keep trying to put people on. They keep taking things off, and I just stopped fighting after a while. Taku-He will go up probably once we get the DVDs ready, and then we'll be able to. I'll start fighting with them again.
Yeah, because I was just playing around with it because I'm trying to do something right now. I don't want to get into all that, but I was seeing how it was, the process of putting a movie on there. Good God, if that thing is anywhere close to a name of another movie, it's pretty much not going to do. They're not going to take it. Or something.
Yeah, and then you just got to you can't just list everybody and list every department. It has you do it at steps. So you got to put the name in, and then you got to click continue, and then you got to put the name in and them, and it's like this building blocks thing. Where it's like, this would just be easier if I could just add all these people at once. Why can't I just do IMDb is anyway. I don't want to get started.
I think that's where you hire an assistant to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be the only way that shit happens.
Okay, that's what the Grave Vengeance is what you was talking about, the Western. So.
Right. Yeah, it's listed, but it's not available. But we'll get you guys a screener for it.
Sweet. And then is the next one, what is the Incandescent?
Incandescence?
That's in Clarksburg.
Yes, it is. It deals with, there's something, the fog keeps coming and people keep dying in it. And it deals with aliens, actually.
Alien fog.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask this question. Are you going with the classic Alien? The big
No.
head, big eyes?
No, these things are called rogs, and they're huge creatures that basically the premise that we started out with, and we had to, because the ending did not work technically, we scrapped the whole ending and reshot. So
This is already done too?
yeah, but I don't know if I released it for Amazon as of yet or not. I honestly,
because I think it still has question marks on the release date.
yeah, they keep bothering him about that, but I kept telling them that it's released, and they keep saying no. I mean, they don't put it up there. I keep putting it back up. They keep like I said, IMDb and me, we do not get along.
And also it has a poster of a woman. Well, you probably know that.
Yes.
Well, I hope
The star of it's Vicki Miller, who actually her and Robert Cox did the creature in Taku-He. They created the creature. So, but it stars her, and basically the premise was that these aliens are coming and they're mining, and they use these rogs to move big things out of the way while they mine for minerals, and that's what the fog is. It's just part of their mining process.
All right.
And
you said there. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh well, if you're walking through the fog and you run into a wolf or something, it's going to attack you. Well, if you're walking into the fog and you run into the rog, it's going to attack you. Yeah. So that's kind of what the premise of the movie is. Spoiler alert. After the fact.
Is this a practical effects, or do y'all actually use CGI?
The creature was all practical. The fog was practical for as much as we could, and then we enhanced with CGI. I like to use CGI more as an enhancement. However, going back to that, the whole alien thing, we had them on a spaceship. At the end of the movie, you go up on a spaceship, and you do all this, and it was all CGI, and it all ended up looking like something out of an old Doctor Who show. And we went, no, this ain't working. So we scrapped that and reshot the ending, and it works. But that movie had such technical problems in post. The footage all got destroyed, and I had to recut the whole thing to match the audio track.
Damn.
Yeah, that movie just gives me a headache when I think about it. So
wow.
All right, well, we'll go back to Taku-He real quick.
There we go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
yeah.
The most current good one.
I want to ask about the cave scene. When you first show the cave, is that what the actual cave? Is that an actual cave, or did y'all have to make something?
No, that's actually just outside of a cave. Okay. We found we had a cave in Hendersonville that we were going to shoot at that was like 12 feet tall opening, but if you recall, it rained a lot last year.
Uh-huh.
And every time it would rain, it would fill up to the point where there was like a foot and a half at the top of the cave.
Yeah.
And so we kept putting that scene off, and finally it was like, we got to shoot this scene or we got to scrap it. What are we going to do? And one of my other crew went, I think I got a place up in Clarksville. So one afternoon, actually that was the longest day ever. We started shooting in Portland, went to Clarksville, shot the cave sequence, ended up back in Smyrna, and wrapped at like I don't know, it was like 2:00 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a long day.
So did y'all actually film inside that cave?
Well, we filmed at the entrance of the cave because the cave that he found really didn't work. It was too shallow and just not. It didn't look dramatic enough. So the cave that you see, the cave entrance that you see, is all CGI in the movie, but the actual them inside is just outside the cave. It's overhung, but it's pretty much just right inside the cave. It's not really I wouldn't call it inside the cave. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I got you. Okay.
But it occasionally it looks like styrofoam depending on the lighting. It's like, but it's real.
That's what I was gonna kind of say. That's what I messaged you last night about that. The lighting of it, I guess, because you said there's probably a lot of light coming in from the entrance, right?
Right. That's what was happening. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense then, because I was thinking they don't walk deep into the cave, so it should be dark as shit,
Yeah,
but
they're at the entrance.
If they're at the entrance, then yeah, okay. Okay, I'm glad.
But based on what you said, we're actually darkening that down since we're doing those little bit of tweaks. So.
Okay. Well, I just me thinking. But yeah, I'm glad. I can't wait to see. After everything is done, because now get to see it where I've seen it now, and then see it after. I'll be able to tell. The
What's
differences.
changed?
So that's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, hell yeah, man. I'm definitely glad we got to do this, and we'll definitely keep in touch, and we'll probably see you. We'll definitely see you in February.
All right, that'll be awesome.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, and this should be up Wednesday, maybe Tuesday night. Depending on how soon I get it edited.
And we'll put a link on our websites and on the Taku-He page for it.
Sweet.
Well, yeah, I appreciate it, and you have a good night and have fun finishing this.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you, guys. It's been fun.
All right,
Thank you,
have a
George.
good night.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So that was George Demick, local director, writer,
Filmmaker.
Yeah, there you go, filmmaker. That's even better. Of Taku-He,
Among other things.
and among a lot of other things, but don't watch the Solemn Terror, he said.
Which I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Because I bought it.
No, but seriously, really cool guy, and you'll be able to see him at ConNooga.
Yep.
Talk about George Romero. You obviously knew him pretty damn well.
Yeah, you got to hang out with him.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine getting influenced by him at that young of age? Pretty badass. That'd be fucking cool. So, I guess that's all we got.
No. Alright. That's all we got. We out.
Peace.